This is High Power 102.7 FM.
Yes, a very beautiful morning out there, and welcome to another edition of In the Papers, your trusted guides for news making major headlines in today's newspaper. Today, as always, we shall be taking a look at different headlines making rounds today from the Hope newspaper, the Punch newspaper, Daily Post newspaper, the Guardian newspaper, and Daily Trust newspaper. Yes, I will look at issues from politics to governance to business, security, education, and human interest stories. Together, we shall be examining the newspaper as reporting and, of course, the implications that follows the development. My name is Florence Ibhareman, and this is In the Papers, your trusted guide for news making major headlines in today's newspaper. Yes, taking headlines from the Hope newspaper this morning, where we have this headline that says, finally, Senate passes State Police Bill. Yes, still taking headline from the Hope newspaper this morning, where we have Ondo begins 2.6 billion naira gratuity payment to retirees. Yes, still on the Hope newspaper this morning, where we have Ondo APC moves to enhance party unity and cohesion. Yeah, still taking headlines, and this coming to you from the Punch newspaper this morning, where we have a talk on drug abuse. Emo groups, NDLA, Navy sensitized students. Yes, still taking headlines from the Punch newspaper this morning, where we have this headline. Atiku protests continued detention. Bail ruling July 1, and that's regards El Rufai's story. Yes, away from the Punch and now to Daily Post, where we have public outcry grows over prolonged incarceration of Taraba journalists. Yes, glad to have you back. The program is still in the papers, your daily drive for news, making major headlines in today's newspaper. Beginning from the Hope newspaper this morning, where we have this headline: Ondo begins 2.6 billion naira gratuity payment to retirees. And now the details. In fulfillment of its commitment to the welfare of serving and retired workers, the Ondo state government has commenced the payment of over 2.6 billion naira in gratuities to retired local government and primary school workers who left service since 2015. Speaking at the ceremonial flag-off of the payment exercise on Wednesday at the Coca-Cola Conference Hall, Governor's Office, Governor Lucky Ayedatiwa said the release of the funds underscored his administration's unwavering commitment to the welfare of senior citizens in the state, in line with the objective of our ease development agenda. Speaking represented by his deputy, Dr. Olayide Adelami, the governor disclosed that his administrations had already cleared gratuity areas for retirees who left service in 2012, 2013, and 2014, reaffirming the government's determination to offset all outstanding gratuities before the end of its tenure. According to him, the total sum of over 2 billion naira will be paid directly into the account of beneficiaries in the 2015 batch. Ayedatiwa attributed the success release of the funds to deliberate planning, prudent financial management, and his administration's resolve to prioritize the welfare of the people. He urged the beneficiaries to make judicious use of the money, particularly by investing in their health and overall well-being. The governor also commended the leadership of the Nigerian Union of Pensioners, NUP, the Nigerian Union of Local Government Employees, NOGE, and the Nigerian Union of Teachers, NUT, for their cooperation and continued advocacy for the welfare of their members. If that story aligns with your interest, it is on the pages of the Hope newspaper this morning with this headline: Ondo begins 2.6 billion naira gratuity payment to retirees. We are still on the pages of the Hope newspaper this morning, where we have finally Senate passes state police bill. Now the details. The federal government plan to tackle insecurity head-on across the country received a boost on Wednesday as the Senate passed the landmark Constitution Alteration Bill seeking to establish state police across the Federation. The development marked a major step in Nigerians' decade-longer debate over decentralization of the country's policing structure to address worsening insecurity. The Senate approved the bill on Wednesday after the consideration and adoption of the 26th class amendment by the Committee of the Whole. The central objective of the proposed legislation is to create a constitutional framework for state-controlled police service along the existing federal policing structure. Earlier, the Senate adopted a manual voting system for the consideration of the bill following a motion moved by the Senate leader, Senator Okpeyemi Bamidele, APC Ekiti. The motion was seconded by the Senate Majority Leader, Senator Abba Muro. The decision to adopt manual and open voting followed a glitch in the Senate's electronic voting system. This came after lawmakers expressed concern that some of their colleagues might be disenfranchised if the chamber proceeded with the faulty device. Senate President Godswill Akpabio also expressed his preference for open voting so that constituents could see how senators voted on the state police bill. Under the arrangement, each senator stood individually, announced his or her name, and openly declared a position on the proposed state police framework. If that story aligns with your interests, it is on the pages of the Hope newspaper this morning with this headline: Finally, Senate passes state police bill. We are still taking headlines from the Hope newspaper this morning, where we have Ondo APC moves to enhance party unity and cohesion. And now the details. The Ondo State chapter of the All Progressive Congress, APC, has resolved to strengthen its internal structure and promote greater inclusiveness as part of effort to consolidate its position ahead of the forthcoming general elections. The resolution was reached during a crucial stakeholders meeting held at the party's state secretariat in Akure under the leadership of the state chairman, Kolawole Babatunde. At the meeting, our party leaders reviewed the current state of the APC in Ondo State and identified key areas requiring urgent attention to further strengthening the party and sustain its dominance in the state's political landscape. A major decision taken was the reconstitution of the existing quarterly stakeholders engagement forum with the governor of the Ondo State and leaders of the party. Honorable Lucky Orimison Aidatiwa. Participants observed that the current composition of the forum does not adequately reflect the broad and diverse membership of the APC across the state. Stakeholders therefore resolved to expand the forum to include all former and 7 members of the National Assembly and the State House of Assembly, former and 7 commissioners, former and 7 local government chairmen, as well as other notable party leaders whose contribution have significantly enhanced the growth and success of the APC. If that story aligns with your interest, it is on the pages of the Hope newspaper with this headline: Ondo APC moves to enhance party unity and cohesion. Yes, away from the Hope newspaper this morning and now to the Punch, where we have state police will protect persecuted Nigerian Christians. And that's coming from the U.S. lawmaker. Now the details. A United States lawmaker, Raleigh Moore, has welcomed the Nigerian Senate passage of the Constitution alteration bill seeking to establish state police, saying the reform will help states better protect citizens, particularly persecuted Christians. Moore represents West Virginia, 2nd Congressional District in the U.S. House of Representatives, made the remark in a post on his X handle on Wednesday. His reaction followed the Senate approval of the bill, which seeks to decentralize policing by allowing states to establish their own police service along the Nigerian police force. Moore, who had previously spoken on attack against Christians in Nigeria, said the reform was one he had advocated publicly and privately. The U.S. lawmaker also commended President Bola Tinubu for backing the proposal, but noted that the amendment must still secure the approval of at least 2/3 of the state houses of assembly before it can take effect. Punch Online reports that the Senate on Wednesday passed a constitution alteration bill seeking to establish state police across the federation after more than 2/3 of senators voted in support during a manual voting process. If the story aligns with your interest, it is on the pages of the Punch newspaper this morning with this headline: State police will protect persecuted Nigerian Christians, and that was coming from the U.S. lawmaker. We are still taking headlines from the Punch newspaper this morning, where we have experts canvass responsible use of AI in chemical sciences. Now the details. Experts in the field of chemical sciences have urged professionals in chemistry-related field to use artificial intelligence ethically and responsibly for the benefit of humanity and the environment. They made a call at the maiden conference of the Chemical Society of Nigeria, Lagos State Chapter, held at the University of Lagos, Akoka, on Tuesday. The conference was themed Responsible AI in Chemical Science for Advanced Security, Ethics and a Sustainable Environment. The Chemical Society of Nigeria is a professional body that brings together graduates of chemistry and other professionals involved in chemistry-related activities. While delivering his keynote speech, Professor Omotayo Arotiba said that while artificial intelligence has come to stay, professionals in the field of chemical science must use AI responsibly. The guest, Arotiba, who is a professor of chemical sciences and director of the Center for Nanomaterial Science Research at the University of Johannesburg, South Africa, stressed the need for government and universities to pay close attention to the ethical issues surrounding AI. For details of that story, see the Punch newspaper with this headline: Experts canvasses responsible use of AI in chemical sciences. Yeah, still on the pages of the Punch newspaper this Thursday morning, where we have a talk on abduction crisis. Oyo begs NUT to end school shutdown. Now the details. The Oyo State Executive Council has appealed to the Nigerian Union of Teachers to allow students to go back to school and discontinue the disruption of the academic calendar. The appeal was contained in a statement on Wednesday issued by the Commissioner for Information, Dotun Oyelade, after the council meeting held on Tuesday. The NUT had directed teachers in public schools in the state to shun classroom following the May 15, 2026 abduction of teachers and pupils in Orire local government area. The Punch report that a total of 46 people comprising of 39 school children and 7 teachers of Baptist Nursery and Primary School, Yowota, Community Grammar School and LA Primary School, SCLA, in Orire local government were adopted during the attack. A teacher, Joel Adeshinyo, was killed on the day of the attack, while one of the hostage, a mathematics teacher, Michael Oyedotun, was beheaded in captivity, as shown in a viral video released by the captors. NUT on Tuesday urged the reopening of public schools in the states on the government putting adequate security measures in place. The Secretary of the Union, Mr. Olukayode Salami, who spoke with the news agency of Nigeria, said the union's decision to withdraw teachers from classroom was prompted by growing insecurity, including the killing of 2 teachers and the continued captivity of abducted victims. He said that schools might reopen once government implements adequate security measures to restore confidence among teachers, parents and learners. In his appeal on Wednesday, the state government, speaking through Oyelade, said, and I quote, while the reason for the withdrawal of the students from schools by the NUT are understandable, the collateral implication, both social and economic, are raising unintended concern and should be equally considered. He stated that the council reassured that the government were taking strategic steps to ensure that the issue of the kidnapping at Orire local government was brought to a close soon. For details of that story, see the Punch newspaper with this headline: Oyo begs NUT to end school shutdown. We are still on the pages of the Punch newspaper, where we have Atiku protests continued detention and bail ruling for July 1. Now the details. Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar on Wednesday criticized the continued detention of former Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai, warning that excessive stringent bail condition could undermine constitutional safeguard and erode public confidence in the justice system. The criticism comes as the Federal High Court in Kaduna fixed July 1, 2026 to rule on the ex-governor's bail application. The court adjourned until July 1 for ruling of the bail application filed by El-Rufai and his co-defendant Jimmy Lawan in an alleged corruption case instituted by the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission. El-Rufai, who appeared before 2 separate courts in Kaduna on Wednesday, is facing charges relating to alleged abuse of office, financial impropriety, and money laundering. At the Federal High Court, presided over by Justice Awawu Buhari, the immediate past governor, Lawal, a former special advisor during the El-Rufai's administration, and several corporate entities were arraigned on an amended 11-count charge. El-Rufai pleaded not guilty to 1 count, while Lawal pleaded not guilty to 6 counts, 6, 7, and 8. For details of that news, see the Punch newspaper with this headline: Atiku protest continued detention, bail ruling for July 1. Yes, away from that, and now to Daily Post newspaper, where we have political parties condemn absence of accord APC from Osho election peace dialogue. Now the details. Concerns over the absence of two major political parties dominated a discussion at the Nigerian police organized a stakeholders and peace meeting in Osogbo on Wednesday as preparation intensified for the 2026 Osun State governorship election. Representative of smaller political parties criticized the failure of the ruling accord and the All Progressive Congress APC to attend the meeting organized by the Osun State Police Command and other security agencies. The gathering brought together political parties, electoral officials, and security stakeholders who use the forum to advocate peaceful conduct before, during, and after the election. Several participants expressed worries that the absence of the two parties could undermine efforts aimed at promoting a violence-free electoral process in the state. Speaking at the meeting, the governorship candidate of the Allied People's Movement, APM, Adewale Adebayo, described the boycott as troubling, noting that the parties involved should have participated in discussions designed to foster peace. He added that the APM would continue to work with security agencies to support peaceful and credible elections in Osun State. The chairman of the Boot Party in Osun, Prince Adesoji Adeleke, also faulted the absence of the Accord and the APC, arguing that their participation was essential to the success of the peace initiative. For details of that news, see the Daily Post newspaper with this headline: Political parties condemn absence of accord APC from Osun election peace dialogue. Yes, so you're still listening to us from iPower 102.7 FM, and the program is In the Papers, your daily nugget for news making major headlines in today's newspaper. Still taking headlines from the Daily Post, where we have why I supported state police bill, and that's coming from Undume. Now the details. Borno South Senator Ali Undume has revealed the reason he supported the creation of state police in Nigeria. Speaking during an interview on Prime Times, a program on Arise Television on Wednesday, Undume said Nigeria needs at least 1 million police officers for a population of over 200 million people. His remarks came after the Senate on Wednesday passed the bill for the establishment of state police to address the issue of insecurity in the country. According to him, what prompted me to support the state police 100% is the reality that the number of police officers we currently have is far from adequate. He further stated that Nigerians' total police strength is nothing to write home about. According to him, the United Nations benchmark, there should be between 200 and 400 police officers for every 10,000 people. Nigeria is nowhere near that standard. A vast country like Nigeria, if you have centralized the policing under the one IGP controlled If you have centralized the policing under one IGP controlled by the center, not decentralizing it, that will never be effective, and that is where we found ourselves. For details of that news, see the Daily Post newspaper with this headline: Why I supported State Police Bill, and that is coming from Undume. Yeah, still talking about the State Police Bill. We have this headline coming to you from Daily Post as well. Governors who misuse state police will face sanction, and that headline is coming from Adara Modu. Now the details. Chairman Senate Committee on Media and Public Affairs, Yemi Adaramodu, says any state governor who misuses state police will face sanctions. Adaramodu made this remark on Wednesday while fielding questions in an interview on Arise Television. He was speaking on the passage of the contentious state police bill by the Senate on Wednesday. According to him, he said, and I quote, "Governors who misuse the state police will face federal intervention. If it is perceived that the governor is using state police to pursue a partisan, religious, or sectional agenda, the federal police can step in. The law provides that the federal police can take over the role and functions of the state police force if it is found to be operating outside its constitutional mandate. These are important safeguards designed to prevent anyone from using state police for personal or political interest." The lawmaker further stated that state police will receive funding from both the federal and state government. The responsibility of funding state police will not rest solely on the state. The federal government will also play a role by providing additional funding to ensure state police are well equipped and adequately resourced to carry out the growing security responsibilities entrusted to them. For details of that news, see the Daily Post newspaper with this headline: Governors who misuse state police will face sanction, and that is coming from Adaramodu. Yes, away from Daily Post and now to the Guardian newspaper, where we have this headline: Presidency detached from reality, says opposition after Ononuga's no longer remark. Now the details. The African Democratic Congress, ADC, and the Obedience Movement have accused the President Bola Tinubu's administration of grave insensitivity following comment by presidential spokesman Bayo Ononuga that he does not see the level of hunger and hardship being reported across the country. However, the federal government said the country's agricultural transformation would require far more capital than it alone could provide. ADC, in a statement signed by its National Publicity Secretary, Bolaji Abdullahi, asserted that Ononuga's view reflected the dominant thinking in the Tinubu-led administration, which he said confirmed its long-standing position that the administration is disconnected from the reality in the country. The statement read, and I quote, ADC has condemned recent comments by Ononuga, claiming that he does not see the level of hunger and hardship Nigerians are talking about. Those comments are not merely insensitive, they are a startling admission of how disconnected the APC government has become from the realities of the people it governs, when over 80% of Nigerians are struggling to feed their families, pay school fees, afford transportation, and keep their businesses alive. It is extraordinary that a senior presidential spokesperson could publicly suggest that the hardship is somehow overstated or even conveyed. The truth is that Nigerians are not faking their suffering. The unprecedented cost of living crisis confronting the country today is the direct result of the EU-conceived and poorly executed economic policy of the Tinubu administration. We have thrown millions more into acute poverty since the government came into power. Food prices have soared, transportation costs have multiplied, the value of income and savings have been eroded, and millions of Nigerians who were managing before are now trapped in economic distress. This is not opposition propaganda. It is the daily life experience of ordinary Nigerians in every state of the Federation. According to the party, what makes Ononuga's comments particularly troubling is that they revealed a government that had become tragically insular and could no longer do anything differently. A governor that is sensitive does not measure the effect of its policies by merely looking at the people within its immediate circle or driven through paved routes. For details of that story, see the Guardian newspaper with this headline: Presidency detached from reality, says opposition after Ononuga's no hunger remark. Still taking headlines from the Guardian newspaper this morning, where we have U.S. Revokes a passport of citizens owing over $2,500 in child support. Now the details. The U.S. State Department says it is revoking passports of Americans with significant outstanding child support debts. Passport revocation for unpaid child support for more than $2,500 is allowed under the rarely enforced 1996 federal law. Previously, the consequences was only doled out when people with such debts sought to renew their passport. However, in a statement, the State Department said it would coordinate with the Department of Health and Human Service to revoke the passport of Americans who have racked up significant outstanding child support debts. The revoked passport may no longer be used for travel even if child support debt has been paid. Citizens will only be eligible for a new U.S. passport after their debt has been paid to the state child support enforcement agency they owe, the statement read. For details of that news, see the Guardian newspaper with this headline. U.S. revokes a passport of citizens owing over $2,500 in child support. We are still taking headlines from The Guardian, where we have Lagos State government shut down Oshodi market over attack on enforcement officials. Now the details. The Lagos State government has shut down the Oshodi resettlement market following an attack on an official of the Lagos State Environmental Sanitation Corps, LAGESC, during an enforcement operation. Disclosing this in a statement on its official X handle, the Commissioner for the Environment and Water Resources, Mr. Tokumbo Wahab, alleged that traders at the market obstructed officers who were carrying out their lawful duties, attacked their personnel and prevented them from arresting suspected hoodlums and beggars during the operation. He further alleged that the suspect vandalized operational vehicle belonging to the agency during the incidents that reportedly occurred on Monday. However, the commissioner did not state when the market would be reopened, but added that investigations and other enforcement actions were ongoing. For details of that news, see the Guardian newspaper with this headline. Lagos State government shut Oshodi market over attack on enforcement officials. Yes, you're still listening to us from iPower 102.7 FM, and the program is In the Papers, your daily drive for news making major headlines in today's newspaper. Now, looking at the Sun newspaper this morning, where we have this headline: bandits do not deserve second chance. Must be eliminated. And that headline is coming from Umba Sani. Now, the details. Kaduna State Governor Umba Sani has called for a hardline response to banditry, arguing that armed group responsible for killings and abductions should be treated as terrorists and eliminated. Speaking in an interview on Wednesday, Sani said the scale of violence carried out by bandits against the communities had left no basis for granting them another opportunity. He cited the killing of innocent residents and the abduction of a woman and children as reasons security agencies must take decisive actions against the group. He said, and I quote, bandits are terrorists, the governor said. I do not believe they deserve second chance because, in my opinion, they are terrorists. According to him, anyone who deliberately takes lives and destroy communities cannot be regarded as deserving. When you call them terrorists, it means they are people who have killed innocent citizens. Certainly, they have no right to live. They must be eliminated. The governor maintained that the government should prioritize the protection of law-abiding citizens, insisting that those involved in terror attack should face a full force of security operations. For details of that news, see the Sun newspaper with this headlines. Bandits do not deserve second chance and must be eliminated. And that is coming from Umba Sani. Yes, still on the pages of the Sun newspaper this morning, where we have Edo NDLEA sensitizes students on dangers of drug abuse. Now the details. Students of Niger College, Benin City, receive a strong warning against drug abuse on Tuesday as the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency NDLEA Edo State Command and the Edo State government took their anti-drug campaign directly to them. The sensitization program was held ahead of the 2026 International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking, observed globally on June 26 with this year's United Nations theme, The World Drug Problem, Persistent Issues, New Challenges, Innovative Responses. Addressing the students, Edo State NDLEA Commander Michel Ofoyeju delivered a presentation titled Choose Your Future, Say No to Drug, engaging students with questions about commonly abused substances such as Colorado, Colos, ice, codeine syrup, tramadol, refinol. Ofoyeju used simple analogies to explain the danger of drug abuse. He said, and I quote, your brain is like your phone processor, while drugs are the virus, he stated. They cause memory loss, poor judgment, addiction, and mental health challenges such as anxiety and depression. Your brain continues to develop until about age 25. If you damage it now with drugs, achieving your WAEC, NECO, and university ambition may be difficult. He outlined 3 major consequences of drug abuse: damage to vital organs such as the lungs, the heart, the kidney, and the liver, expulsion from school or imprisonment from drug-related offenses, and the deceptive tactics often used to lure young people into substance abuse. The commander also taught the students the 5 Ds for resisting drug use: delay, defect, decline, distance, and disclose. They informed them that the NDLEA counseling and treatment service are free, confidential, and non-judgmental, accessible through its toll-free helpline. If that story aligns with your interests, it is on the pages of the Sun newspaper today with this headline. Edo NDLEA sensitizes students on the danger of drug abuse. Yes, away from that and now to the Vanguard, where we have all youth resident doctors suspend 10-day warning strike. The Association of Resident Doctors, ARD, Olabisi Onabanjo University Teaching Hospital, or Shagamu, or Ogun State, has suspended its ongoing 10-day warning strike following assurance by the Ogun State government that its members' professional allowance would be paid before July 31, 2026. The decision was reached after an emergency congress of the association held on Wednesday at the ARD Lounge, OOU Shagamu. The president of the association, Dr. John Omotosho, disclosed this in a statement made available to journalists today, saying the suspension followed fruitful engagement with top government officials and the leadership of the Nigerian Medical Association, NMA, in Ogun State. According to him, the government gave the commitment during a meeting attended by the Secretary of the State Government, SSG, Mr. Tukumbo Talabi, the head of service, Mr. Olarewaju Saka, and the Ogun State leadership of the NMA. Omotosho said the association carefully reviewed its demand and the progress recorded before deciding to suspend the industrial actions. For details of that news, see the Vanguard newspaper with this headline. Oyota resident doctors suspend 10 days warning strike. Yes, and with that, we'll draw the curtains on today's edition of In the Papers, your trusted guide for news making major headlines in today's newspaper. We're saying a very big thank you for staying with us as we review and discuss the major headlines making waves across the country and around the world. Remember, staying informed is the first step towards making informed decisions and contributing meaningfully to the society. Join us again tomorrow, 9 a.m. for another